Hello, welcome back to our lesson. Today we want to discuss sine and cosine rule. Think about a piece of land for a farmer who is planting some napier grass in these particular sections. And inside this particular circle, we have an inscribed triangle. How can that farmer find the total area acreage for this farmer to plant maybe what we call neighbor grass so that they can feed cows grazing inside this particular inscribed triangle? Now, think of a equation now. Triangle PQR is inscribed in a circle, so we have the measurements for PQ. We have 7.8 centimeters, PR 6.6 centimeters, QR 5.9 centimeters. Now, how can we find the radius of the circle? We want to find the area of this particular circle. Now, it needs us to use what we call cosine rule, where a squared plus b squared is equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2ab cos a, which means we are going to square the sides of this particular triangle and cos of the 2ab cos of that particular so that you can get what we call the angle. Now it means that, for example, p squared, we need to have 5.9 squared, q squared, we need to have 6.6 squared, r squared, we need to have 7.8 squared minus 2 times 6.6 times 7.8 cos theta of that particular angle. Now, it means that whenever now we are going to square the sides of this particular inscribed triangle, we use under the rule of cosine rule, we are going to get the angle. Now, let's go. For what we have used there, as you see, is for us to find this particular angle, QPR. Now, it means that whenever you square 5.9, you get that 4.81 is equals to 104.4 minus 102.96 cos p divided by negative 102.96 divided by the other side, the same as negative 102.96. So this one cancels, this side cancels. You are going to find yourself coming with cos inverse of 0.67589, of which we are going to find the cos inverse of this one. We are going to find this particular angle here indicated at 47.48 degrees. Now, how can you find the radius of this particular circle? It needs us also to use what we call sine rule, where we have a over sine a is equals to b over sine b is equals to c over sine c is equals to 2r. 2r here means what? The radius. Now, we are going to say that 5.9 of this side is over sine 47.48 degrees equals to 2r. 5.9 divided by sine 4.48, you are going to find 8.005 divided by 2, so that you can get the radius. We are going to have 4.0025, of which at one decimal point, we are going to have 4.0 centimeters. That is the radius of this particular circle. Now, how can we get some of the angles? Another question here says the angles of the triangle. This is a question for Kcse. Another question says, how can you get other angles of P? We have PRQ. You can also get RQP. For the angles that you have gotten here is P. We can say the angle that we have gotten there is Q. PR. Now, the angle that we have calculated, we have said is QPR as 47.48 degrees. Let's go and find another angle at this particular point R. Now, we're going to say that by using sine rule, we use 5.9 over sine 47.48 is equals to 7.8 over sine theta. It means we are going to say use this particular angle on this side, and then which we are going to say 5.9 divided by sine 47. You can say 5.9 divided by sine 47 is equals to what is the opposite side of r? 7.8 over sine theta. The angle here we don't have. That's what we are looking for. Now we are going to get that this one as you cross multiply, and then you get 5.9 sine theta is equals to 7.8 sine 47.48 degrees. So divided by sine inverse of 0.9743, you get 76.98 degrees. Now we have gotten this particular angle at this point, what? R. So by now you have two angles, this one and this one. So we don't have another angle here, and angles in a triangle adds up to 180 degrees. So 180 degrees minus the summation of this angle and this angle, so that we can get what? This angle is called PQR. Now let's go and do it. And then here, when you work with me, where you're going to have 180 degrees minus the summation of those particular two angles that we said for 7.48 plus 76.98 at this particular point. So for 7.48 and 76.98, those are two angles. So whenever you add them, you're going to find that your answer is going to be 124.46. When you do subtraction from 180, you find that this particular angle is going to be 55.54 degrees. The angle that is here, RQ, P is 55 point, we have said 55.54 degrees. So those angles, when you add them in this particular triangle, you're going to find that they adds up to 180 degrees. Now let's go to a concern for finding the area of the shaded sections where this farmer now can plant what we call the neighbor grass. Now, let's go down. What are we going to use? We are going to say that there is the area of a circle minus the area of this particular circle, pi r squared, minus the area of this inscribed triangle, of which we can use either any of the angles seen here and any of the sides to calculate the area of the triangle, which we're going to say pi r squared area of the circle minus half into a 7.8, b 6.6 sine theta, the angle that's here, which is 47.48 degrees. Now, which means it's going to be pi r squared, you get 50.28 square centimeters, half times what we say 7.8 times 6.6 times sine for 7.48 degrees, you get 18.97 square centimeters. When we do subtraction, we are going to get that 1.3 square centimeters, which is going to be the area of the shaded part. The area of the shaded part. Now, the area of the shaded part is going to be the area of the total acreage for the farmer to find the total area where he's going to plant that neighbor grass. Now, you can go also and try by using, we can say pi r squared 22 over 7 times 4 squared minus either of the n of the angles. We would say half times 6.6 times 5.9, and then the angle there we just got, it is 76.98 degrees, this angle. Or we can try to use half times 7.8 times 5.9 times 55.4 degrees, this angle, so that we get the area of this triangle, where we're going to minus from the area of the circle. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more mathematics lessons if you find the lesson helpful to you.